Hello traders, welcome back to another episode of Greenback Riders Trading Academy. Today is April 6th and we will be looking at what we are expecting in the market for the next week and especially for tomorrow. So again, we will start looking at the price action first. There are a lot of interesting things that are happening at the moment, and then we will be looking at how the SPX gamma levels are placed, and then we will be looking at the volume profile charts. Before we start, if you're liking these videos, please make sure to like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and click on the notification icon. Let us take a look at the 12-month or the 1-year chart first. This is the 1-year chart. This was the 2024 and this is the running 2025 candle, which is currently below the open of the 2024 candle, this being the low at 5015. Also at this point of time, this is an inside bar. The 2025 bar is an inside bar to the 2024 bar, right? Now, since this is still a mother bar, we are below the 11% line of this particular mother bar, right? So there is a possibility that the price will come down and hit this 5015 area. But we will go to the monthly chart and we will see that there are some supports which are here as well. So what I'm thinking is, either if the price keeps on coming down and we can break down the 5050 line, we will come and hit this 5015, and actually we can get farther down to the 11% extension of the 2024 bar, which can get us to the 4886.25 area. So this area can be revisited if we are breaking down and holding the 5015 level. On the upside, if we can get above this 11% line at the 515760 areas, then there is a possibility we'll go up to the 5280s and we may come and hit this particular box once again between 5350 and 5320. And then from there, we can see one more reversal down. But if we are getting above this, the market may actually try to get to this 5425 areas and then get to the 50% area of the 2024 candle. So these are all possibilities that can happen on the upside, and there are reasons for saying that. So there is a possibility that we will be bouncing from here maybe for a couple of days, get two legs to the upside, and then we will see what is happening. However, right now on the 12-month chart, these are some of the important levels that we will be looking at, and as we go down in the time frames, we will actually see if these levels are matching up with any of our lower time frame levels, thereby making them far more important. But if the market goes against our expectations and if we are breaking down this 5015, it may actually gravitate over the next few days towards the 4880 areas, and then we can see it come down to the 4739 areas as well. So right now the market is very bearish, but the bounce may come or it may never come, and even if the bounce comes, it can fail and get us back to these levels again. Also, we do have a 12-month trend line here, and if the monthly candle wants to come back down here, that will be somewhere in the 4052 area, and that will actually do a double bottom with the bottom of the 2022 bar. Let us now go and take a look at the monthly chart. Now the monthly chart support and resistance looks almost similar to what we have on the 12-month chart, although I will be adding some more lines here. So this particular line, the 5050 or the 5049.75 line, is actually the high of this monthly bar, which we could not break out, and then we finally broke out. We retested this area and then kept going back up again. So that is why I was saying there is a possibility that we will be holding this 5050. If we do not hold this 5050, we will come down straight to this 5015 area, and breaking down of that, we will target this first 4964.25 area, which is also a monthly double top breakout line. So based on this particular chart, if the price comes down below the low that we had on Friday, which happens to be at the 5074 area, so if we are breaking down this Friday's low at the 7475 area, then the market will migrate down to 5050 to the 5015, breaking down which we can target this particular area at 4965, and then we can come down to 4879 as well. However, if we are holding the 5100 and we can get above the 5110, then we can get up to the 5133 areas once again. So that is our generic area of support and resistance, and then we can get up to 5157 to the 5180 area, and then the subsequent levels that we have on the upside. Now the blue line and the red line that you see here, the blue line is the 50 SMA and the red line is the 50 EMA on the monthly chart, right? And we are so close to it. So that is why I'm also interested to see that if we are getting a bounce in the 5050 to the 5015 areas, because the 50 SMA lies at 5050 or 5053 areas, and right below that, right above the 5015 line, we do have the 50 EMA as well. So there is also a possibility that we will dip below this 5015 line overnight, and then if we see that in the morning that the price is coming above this 5052, then the price can gravitate towards the 5075 line, the 5100, 5110, and keep moving up to the upside again. So there is a good possibility that we will be bouncing from these areas, but if we give up these areas, then yes, there can be a further move to the downside. So having looked at the monthly chart, let us now take a look at the weekly chart. Now, looking at the weekly chart, since most of these lines are actually coinciding with our 12-month and the monthly lines, I'm not making any changes to them. However, we will see that we are having the first leg down, this was the pullback, and then we had the second leg down. Now, if you're trying to find out a fib-based target for the bears on the downside, and then we will see that at 5192 area we did give up the 1:1, right? And the price wants to come to the 1:1.5 area, that may even bring it back to the 4866. And this 4866.5 also coincides with the 11% extension of the 2024 bar, so getting there can become a possibility at some point of time if we are breaking down these lows and keep coming down. But then we will be taking our profits level to level, right? Because we have fallen so much, you never know when there is a dead cat bounce suddenly happening and the price goes up 100, 200 points. Now, there is also a weekly trend line that we have, but I will not be bothered with that right now. But because touching that trend line will have to take the price around 600 points to the upside. That will not be possible in one day, in my opinion. So when we get there, 600 points up, then we will take a look at that. Now, another primary reason for which I am thinking of a bounce is this is the 200 EMA on the weekly chart. We have come and hit that. Now, if we are breaking this down, we will be coming down to these levels again, 50.50 to 5015. However, if you see that we went to 5015 and lower, and then we are coming back up and trying to touch this particular EMA and going up, then I think that will be a fake breakdown of the EMA and the price will keep moving higher for some time. But since we have two legs down to the 200 EMA on the weekly chart, I'm actually expecting some bounce sometime this week. There is also a possibility that this week will actually end like this. I do not know whether the body will be red or green, whether we will end bullish or bearish, whether we will close below the EMA or above the EMA. But if we are closing the weekly candle in some way like this above the EMA, then the possibility of a bounce actually will increase. Let us now take a look at this daily chart. Now, this is an interesting EMA, right? This is the 900 EMA. I was actually playing around with the EMAs to see where we are bouncing when we are having a strong move to the downside. And every time, if you see here, right here, we did come below the 900 EMA and then we went back up. Here also we got a bounce near the 900 EMA. Here also we got a bounce at the 900 EMA. So it is possible that we can come down a little bit. But as we are taking out this 5075 to the 5090 areas and keep moving to the upside again, that may actually become a reality that, okay, we are actually bouncing off the 900 EMA once again, and then we will keep moving to the upside. So based on this, there is a possibility that we will break down this 5015, come down to this 4965 line, and then bounce from here, get above the 900 EMA once again, get above this 5075 area, and then go and hit this on the upside. Now, if you're looking at the bigger picture here, this particular low is a major low, right? After this high was broken out, this is a major low. Now, we will have to get above this 5183, 5184 area and hold it, and then the price can actually target this 5214 area as well sometime this week, and then keep moving up to the subsequent level. Or else we can come up to the 5184 area, get rejected, and try to visit these bottoms once again. The other important thing is that on Friday we had a climactic bar with a huge volume, right? So this is one of the biggest volumes that we had overall these days. So either there's a climactic bar and they will trap the bears below it and get back up, or this can also be the beginning of a new bearish move to the downside. So it is only about time before we can say that what is going to happen. But looking at all these evidences, what I'm thinking is there is a possibility that we will get a bounce again. So on the 4-hour chart also, after this new high on the tariff day, we came back. This was the first leg down. This was an inside bar. So we had the second leg down here. This particular candle went above the high of this candle. So we had the third leg down as well. Also, we have this particular 4-hour channel in here. And you will see that this particular bar actually went up to the channel, failed there and came back down. Now, very importantly, we'll have to take out this 5136 area. That was one of the targets that we were looking at previously. So the 33 to the 36 area. So if we can get above this 33 to the 36 area, then there's a possibility that we will come back to this trend line. But again, we will have to be careful about what the price is doing at this particular trend line. If we are able to go through it, then yes, we will be able to hit all those levels that we were talking about earlier. We will also have this particular line on the chart, which is the 4-hour bearish trend line that is there. So even if we are coming back up, we are getting back inside this particular channel. We'll have to be really careful when price comes and hits this. Now, this particular area on the 4-hour chart, which happens to be at 55.65, that is again 500 points away from where we are. But if the price manages to come up here or even to this particular line, which is at 5535, which was a serious breakdown, we can have sellers waiting here once again, and that will bring us down another couple of legs to the downside, thereby retesting these lows. And then if we start to go back up again, that will be a signal that yes, the bulls are trying to buy back this particular low once more. So a couple of more important lines right here is this 5060 line, which is, if you see, there's an inverted head and shoulder on this 4-hour chart. So this the price can also hold here. If this breaks down and we break down this 50-50 as well, then we may highly come and test this inverted head and shoulders head at 5016, 5015. So that is the play between the 5050 to the 5015 area. Also, this particular line at 5380 also happens to be a major 4-hour line. If you see, there has been multiple support and resistance on this particular line as well. Now on the 4-hour chart, I'll also draw this particular trend line. If we got support here, we broke down and then we went back up again. So an extension of this line brings us somewhere in the 4900s. So if the price actually wants to come down here, we will have this line in place in order to see how the price is behaving around that. Now the market already opened as we are speaking. We are below this 11% extension of 2024. Mostly by the morning, we can see that it can come down to the 4738. I was hoping that the 4965 will hold, but it actually opened very close to that. We broke it down and we are breaking down everything. So we are in the bearish territory. So we have broken down that 900 EMA as well on the daily chart. So now we will have to see where the market opens tomorrow morning. What are the levels that we have? So looking at the hourly chart, you will see that this is a very important hourly low that we have. The market needs to hold this. If the market holds this, then and we can get above this 5007 line, which is also another generic support and resistance area. The market may want to fill up this gap. But looking at this, I really got disheartened. Trust me, I really got disheartened. I was actually looking for an up move, but this is in the bearish territory. So we can come down to these areas 4740, 4683 as well. Also on the downside on this hourly chart, we have this is from November 2023. This is an inverted head and shoulder area where this is the head and this is the shoulder, and we may come down and hit those areas once again. Right above that, this 4600, the 4607 to the 4600 would work as a support, and the next support can be at the 4581 line. Now, if the price is capable of breaking down these head and shoulder structures, although we are 500 points away, but I am just keeping it. You never know what the week does. So then this hourly inverted shoulder and the hourly inverted head, if you are breaking this down, this is the major hourly area again. And then we can come down to the 2023 lows. And after that, you never know where the market is going, right? But as of now, we see that the 11% extension is holding. And as long as the 11% extension is holding, we may still go up. But these are the major support and resistance areas that we have at this point. So these are the gamma levels that we have at this point of time, but this comes with the disclaimer that this is based on the close that we had on Friday, the SPX close that we have on Friday. We are already around 100 points down in the price chart on ES1. So this may actually change dramatically when we open when the market opens up at 9:30 a.m. in the morning, or around 9:45 a.m. when we will actually get the next update to the gamma levels. But for now, 5100 is the first aggregate gamma, but this 5000 line is the biggest resistance that we will have while the price comes up, because we have the 2AG there, the first call open interest and the first put open interest. And if you are looking at the barchart.com data, you will see that this 5000 level, which will correspond to the 5040 or the 5050 level on the ES mini, this will become a very big resistance at that point of time, especially considering the one POI and the one COI are both lying on this particular line. Right? So the whole market is in a negative gamma environment, but if we are able to get above this 5000 sometime in the morning, then there is a high possibility that we will at least come and try to touch this 5074, which is the close of Friday. But then we will have to see how the market opens. We will have to see what are the support and resistances that are there above that in ES mini, and we will have to take our trades level to level. This is a very strong bearish market at this point, and we can get that 1:1.5, 1:2 of the ES mini measured move that we saw on the daily charts, and the price can still come down.